we are not going to waste a lot of time on this. We're going to get right into it because, kind of crazy. But here we are nonetheless, man. Did get an earlier super chat. Man, this is before the show even started. The homie Flow Grown 420 says TJ, in turn TJ Watt said, pay me or I'm gone. So we traded George Pickens, shaking my head with the heartbreak emoji. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's talk about it for those that don't know or that, are, late risers. This dropped about 6:40 a.m. today. Adam Schefter was the person who put out the tweet, basically saying that, the Pittsburgh Steelers were finalizing a trade with the Dallas Cowboys to send George Pickens to the Cowboys for picks in terms of draft picks in return. Now, obviously at 6:40 in the morning, we're all half asleep, half awake. We're like, is this even the right Adam Schefter account? You know what I mean? Like, is it really Schefter or is it like Adam Schefter? You know what I mean? Where they spell it without the C or something. So I'm like, all right, nah, it's really legit. Okay. But then I'm like, you know what? It said they're finalizing. It didn't mean that the deal was done. So of course the optimist in me says, you know what? Maybe we'll all just get the major pump fake. We'll appreciate the content because obviously this is breaking news. It's important. It's exciting. But you know what? About 2:00, man, it'll all go back to, yeah, man, they were just faking it, man. They ain't really going to do that. And we'd all be good. We would all do the same thing. I told y'all they wouldn't do that and we'd be good. But unfortunately, that was not the case. It only got realer as the time passed. And now it is officially official where, we got the Cowboys social media team putting their post out. They're still, or Cowboys.com putting it out there. NFL that took on ESPN, everybody still. I'm like, whoo. So, yeah, for the compensation with it, we are sending George Pickens and a 2027 6th-round draft pick to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2026 3rd-round draft pick and 2027 5th-round draft pick. Now, for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the move because I believe in proven production. I believe in the player over the pick. But at the same time, this situation is a little unique. Why is that? Well, we know a couple of things are at play right now. Number one, as it pertains to GP, we know that, is he all the way on board with the situation, or is he too frustrated with the quarterback carousels that he's had to play with, the coordinators that he's had to work with? Maybe those were the things that, were making him a little bit more disgruntled. We don't know that behind the scenes, right? But that is something that we have to take into consideration. We see us bring in DK Metcalf, right? Trade a 2nd-round pick and then give him a big-time deal, paying him $30 million per year. All right. Was that a little bit of a sign where they're saying, all right, man, we are showing you this is the type of player that we want, this type of player that we're willing to pay. But for you specifically, you need to wait. You need to show us that you can do more if you want that type of deal, because we do know that this is typically when guys of his status get extensions. Right? When you got 1 year remaining on your contract, this is when you see those contract extensions and usually nice, robust deals for a guy like GP. So it could also be the scenario where the number, right? We're coming over here. He's saying he wants this. We can't meet in the middle. And now you have to ask yourself, would you rather allow him to go in free agency and not even going for agency. Would you want him to potentially sit out this year and now you just deal with that whole song and dance? Or you have a disgruntled employee, right? Dude that's pissed off every single day within the locker room. Now you're dealing with that throughout the season. Or even the element of you allow him to play out the season, but because y'all don't get a deal done, now he's going to leave him for agency and you get a comp pick. Sure, the comp pick would be nice, but at the same time, there's still some, level of uncertainty about what that pick would be because it's predicated on how much money he will be receiving elsewhere. So to me, when I think of all those variables, I'm like, all right, I get why you would move off of him if you don't think he's the long-term answer. If you don't want to pay 2 receivers $30+ million or a $30 million and a $25 million receiver, right? Thinking GP's market in that $20-25 million range. If you don't want to pay both of those dudes like that, then sure, you've already committed to DK. You already got some question marks around GP. Move on from GP. Cool. Get you your draft compensation. So you feel like you won. You got your 3rd-round pick. You guaranteed that, and you picked up an additional 5th. Cool. all that sounds nice in the like long-term grand scheme of things, but what it doesn't help right now is the production. And what I'm referring to is the 900 yards, the 50 something catches, and a couple touchdowns that the dude produced just last year, and what he's been in terms of the past couple years for us, our best receiver. That part we knew coming into this offseason that we needed to add to the wide receiver room. Hence the reason why we were also excited about DK Metcalf joining, right? Because we're like, yo, DK's here, man. We rocked out, man. Let's get it. Now we got two dogs at receiver. We can go get it. Are they crash outs? Absolutely. But we still felt good about those two dudes and what they could bring to the table for whatever quarterback, hopefully Aaron Rodgers, right? But now you pivot to, all right, we trade GP after getting DK. I'm like, we kind of in the same boat we were just in a year ago. Now, granted, I feel a lot better about the wide receiver in terms of DK's just overall production and the consistency with that. But for the added boost that I feel at receiver, I feel negative about quarterback, because this time last year we were hollering about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Right now, we're hollering about Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Skylar Thompson, and the potential of Aaron Rodgers deciding to play versus retire. I don't feel as good about that. Could be better, could be worse, though. So here we are, right? So to me, man, now I'm looking at this scenario and I'm just saying, what's next, right? What is next? Who, what, when, where, how? We got picks. We know that there are free agents still available. Amari Cooper is probably the guy that I would say is the best option if we're not talking trades, right? We just saw Gabe Davis get released earlier today as well from the Jacksonville Jaguars, just a year after signing a $39 million deal to go down to Jacksonville. They're talking about Alan Lazard, right? Trade speculation because of the connection with Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, God, I don't really move my needle. I'm like, if you want to talk trade, you know the receiver I would, if we're going to talk trade now. He playing Miami. He's kind of crazy. He's been disgruntled down there as well. Talk about Tyreek Hill. I'm going to go ahead and do that. If I'm going to get a crash out, let me go get the fastest crash out I know. All right? I'm just saying. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, maybe this is all right, maybe we're not finished just yet. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that this is all right, we playing chess right here. It looks weird, but this is a chess move, okay? We get rid of that, acquire this, and we planning on getting to that. That's what I'm hoping. Because otherwise, child, we need to go get some more defenders, all right? Because, yeah, man, offense going to be rough, so we're going to need to have people that can just hold the 3 points, man. Yeah, holding 3 points, all right? So that's what I'm thinking. I just don't know. I don't know. But I am very just dumbfounded by this move at this point, man. I'm like, I don't see the direction all the way in terms of this year. Now, if we're playing the long game, sure, long game, I can see that. But to get to that ending of that long game, we got to survive through this year, because you go out here and you mess around too bad this year, people gonna really get fired, man. So that's my only thing. So I don't know how I feel about this all the way. But here we are. Now, I'm sure if you're in Dallas right now, you're loving it. They didn't give him an extension, 1 year deal, but you got him, CD Lamb, obviously Dak over there. You feeling good about the offense, man. You feeling good. You drafted a old lineman in the first. You feel like you got the goods to make some noise over there. We're going to see how that plays out. And I'm sure if you GP, this is going to be the best quarterback you've played with, man. Like a healthy, young, in his prime Dak Prescott, man, we just saw it, not last year, obviously, because he was banged up, but the year before that, he was an MVP finalist. So with that, it's like, all right, for GP, I'm sure he's super excited about that. But yeah, from the black and gold perspective, I'm just like, man, I don't know. But everybody is different, right? So I'm gonna just say this statement for me and me alone. All right, you see, I got my Steel Town Irish shirt on because I'm praying that we got some lucky Steelers magic going on behind the scenes, and I just don't know it. Okay, that's what I'm hoping. But as a whole, for me personally, what I'm saying is this: I have not stopped trusting this team since I've joined the organization in 2014. Since 2014, I have not been done wrong. I've listened to these dudes. I follow these dudes. I've seen the moves they make, and they've resulted in victories. A lot of them. So with this, I'm going to take the same approach. I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, a lot of people that don't believe in organization, man, they will go believe in them regardless if this trade happened or not. So they're going to have the feelings that they have. But for me specifically, hey, man, I'm going to take the wait and see approach. let us wait and see. Let us wait and see. Because, yeah, there's always been that negative, nervous, oh, God, this is over. Oh, my God, we're going to suck. And it never actually happens. So I'm willing to see. They've earned that right to me. So I'm willing to see that. But, yeah, this is weird, man. This is definitely one of them weird ones on the surface, baby. All right. But, yeah, let's tap in, man. I see y'all dropping the super chats, man. We will for certain get those in here, man. So, you already know, though, man. Don't forget to hit the like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Yeah, this is definitely one of those ones, man. The homie King Whooper says, yo, Moats, we got to skip the intro and get right into it. Hey, baby, you know I'm with you now, all right? We did do that. We definitely did that because it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Kel Turner says the AFC North just wiped sweat off their forehead. I can see that as well. You know why I can see that? Because we just gave up no GP. For draft picks that aren't even available to us this year, the draft is already passed. So I get it, man. I get it. I'm sure they're looking like, hey, all right now, unless they about to do something crazy trade-wise, we should be feeling pretty good about that Steelers matchup, man. Heck, we don't even know if their quarterback even wants to play or if he's retired in terms of Aaron Rodgers. So I'm sure they definitely feel good about it, man. Yeah. Oh, man, I hate that. I hate this one right here, but this is also accurate, man. The homie Donovan LaRue says, yeah, that Jack Sawyer pick starting to look a little terrible right now. I could understand where he is coming from with that one. Most definitely, man. Like I said, definitely not what we want to see right now. It's definitely not what we want to see. But we got to trust him. Got to trust him. At least that's what they say, right? Because there are certain people that will feel, all right, with GP, the potential long-term negative, right? We've heard the horror stories of, or not the horror stories, but we've heard the stories of Antonio Brown and how everything played out with that. Obviously, I was privy to a little bit more information just being in the locker room with him doing those 4 years. But at the same time, it's like, man, we know publicly it was quiet, right? But we get it. As soon as Coach T cut the cord on that, moved on, he went completely crazy. And we saw how it ultimately ended for him and how he is still, not back to the Antonio Brown that we all knew. So that was one version of it. But then it's like, all right, we can go down the list and you start to just think of all the disgruntled receivers that we've had to move on from, right? Guys that we've enjoyed, that we thought, all right, man, this is the next one. And we traded them. Before we paid them, we traded them. Or in some cases, we paid him and traded him, But it's like, man, we talked to Antonio Brown. We know what we did with that one. Chase Claypool. Know how we did with that, right? Martavis Bryant. Another dude that we thought was going to be a dog. He was killing it. Shout out to my dog, Tay. Moved on from it, though, for various reasons, right? Deontay Johnson. We're looking at the Deontay Johnson story right now, looking at him in Cleveland in that contract. We're like, how the heck did you get here when just 12 months ago, man, you was getting $17, $18 million a year, right? And now you had GP to this mix, man. Heck, if you wanted to go back even further than that, shout out to my dog, Santonio. Man, we moved on for him too. It's like they understand when a player is talented and can produce and, are God tier at certain phases. But at the same time, the Steelers, they believe in that nobody's bigger than the team, man. Nobody's bigger than that. And if they feel internally that they're going to have those type of concerns, man, or they just feel like, man, they can't cover for you anymore, your production doesn't outweigh the negative, they're going to move on. Like you said, man, when you see how they handle Antonio Brown at the end of it, to me, that was like the ultra light, like, man, highlight, bold print, underline. You should know if you can't produce on his level, yeah, man, might, have to toe it quiet down a little bit. We saw that with Deontay Johnson, right? And we're not saying that their grievances aren't valid. Deontay Johnson, you know how I felt about his grievance. I'm like, yo, I get it. Your contract, your production, your legacy is largely tied to the quarterback who can get you the football. And if you feel like that guy can't deliver, then yeah, you're going to voice that. You're going to step up and be passionate about it. But you have to be careful with how you do it, because we saw how that played out with DJ, right? And that's just one of them. Except we can go down that list. So when you talk GP and it's like, yeah, we all say, yeah, hey, bro, he got a little crash on, he got a little crazy on him, but he be balling though. But he could get a little inconsistent, but more so because the quarterback play. We know the revolving door that he's had to deal with that and how crazy that's impacted him. So we get it. We definitely get it. But this is that part where I'm just like, and now it could have been he wanted to. If he wanted to get traded, that's a different convo. He could have went in there. Hey, look, man, I don't like the situation. I don't like the quarterback room. I see what y'all did with DK. I don't like it, man. I want to get up out of here. And if that's the case, volunteers, not hostages. Wish you nothing but the best. But if that wasn't the case, he actually wanted to be here, but he was showing his passion for that in a different manner, then you, like I said, you just got to be careful with that. Now, bringing in Robert Woods, it's like, yo, this is a nice pick, but this ain't that type of pick where you bring him in to move on from GP. That's not that. And you know, I'm a dog now. Woods was with me in Buffalo, but no, that ain't that. All right. We ain't seeing that. Even with Amari Cooper, I'm not saying Amari Cooper is replacing GP's production. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Alan Lazard either or Gabe Davis. But what I am saying is we're going to need to do something. Maybe it's two of them dudes. Something, though. Something. Like, I like Rock Taylor, man. The undrafted free agent we signed from Memphis. 6'3", down the grass. We said GP, DK style, right? But we know what GP is. That's proven production, man. I don't have that type of optimism about, the unproven just yet. I don't. I need to see it. When I see it, then I believe it. So I'm definitely at that crossroads phase right now with the wide receiver room and just kind of what my expectations are going to be going into this season. So that's why I'm like, you know what? We're going to hold off. All right. I'm going to give him some time to figure it out. I'm going to give him some time to let this thing play out. Hopefully, we can get this thing right. All right. Now we got the homie Zach Costanzo. And he says, traded a second this year and our best offensive weapon right before his prime for a 2026 third and a similar wide receiver that already peaked. Make it make sense. Now, when you say already peaked, I don't agree with you with that one. Because DK Metcalf to me hasn't already peaked. DK Metcalf to me is in his prime, but he's also a dude that can still continue to improve, which I think he will. All right. So I think we got better if we're just talking simply the 1-for-1 element of a GP as our main receiver versus DK Metcalf as our main receiver. So similar, sure, but definitely an upgrade when we're talking production. We ain't debating that one. That's just the statistics prove that, right? And he's had similar quarterback situations. Now, obviously, he dealt with a Geno. Geno definitely showed a lot better, but he's also a big reason why Geno looked a lot better as well. So let's throw that out there too. But I could definitely agree with you though, man. There are certain things where, this doesn't look the best. Definitely doesn't look the best. But let's wait and see. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's wait and see. All right. Whew. But I don't know if we really gonna cook with this one or not just yet. I don't know. All right, let's see. The homie Juice Bellamy says, we are cooked. DK double teamed. Watch. Oh yeah, that might happen. He can get a double team regardless though, right? That's the reason why we say, hey, having a GP would make it exciting. But I'm taking let's see who else we're gonna add. I think you need to add two people now because I don't think you're going to find GP level production with the available options per se, but I'm willing to be surprised. And if we go out there and make a trade, the same skepticism, the same nervousness or anxiousness that we're experiencing right now, we'll be back in here talking, oh yeah, we back on now. We got our guy now. So that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to wait and see. All right. Kel Turner says, we cause disgruntled wide receivers by being conservative. I mean, that's one way to look at it. If we're trying to excuse it, sure. We call that seeking comfort, right? Yeah, man, you're disgruntled because we're conservative. Or you can say we win football games. And nobody's individual production or feelings or contract or anything is bigger than the fact that we win as a team. So, like I said, there's multiple perspectives of how we could say the disgruntled element and what may or may not have caused that. But there are also multiple ways to view that cause of the disgruntled. And now we're saying, are you more of a me player? Because you're disgruntled at our conservative approach that has led us to winning and multiple playoff appearances. Now, we know playoff success is a different conversation, but the root of it is we do when we get into the playoffs with this approach. So conservative or not, it is proven. So Once again, getting back to it, you're disgruntled because your lack of production. So your lack of production makes you feel like you're not doing enough, right? Or you're not getting what you personally want. Cool. So is what you want bigger than the team? And if it is, then this is what typically happens. We appreciate you for all that you've done. We wish you nothing but the best on your future endeavors. And we hope that you could go out there and get everything that you hope and dream. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing because this business model is proven since the 70s. And yeah, we might be doing some fine tuning, but it ain't broke. So we're going to keep progressing with that approach. So that's my only, just kind of different perspective on that, Kel Turner. But, I like the participation, baby. Richard Arbizo says offense still better than last year on paper, minus the QB. So this is my thing. We can't say on paper there because we don't have the QB answer just yet. So that's the only reason why I won't say we're better on paper, because the quarterback still matters the absolute most. And as it stands today, we have taken a downgrade, at least until proven otherwise, right? In terms of Mason, in terms of Will Howard, in terms of Skylar Thompson, or even if it's Aaron Rodgers, right? Rodgers isn't under contract just yet. So the three that I named initially, if they can't come out and show a lot more improvement, or at least do better than what we saw from Russ and Justin Fields, we're not going to feel like this team is better offensively than they were last year, because that quarterback position is still the most important one. All right. Let's see. Oh, man. My man King Whooper says we went from having 2 Bulldogs to having 1 Bulldog and a jittery butt Chihuahua and Calvin Austin. Now, listen, that ain't your regular Chihuahua, all right? That Chihuahua gangster, all right? It's from Memphis. Watch how you see how he get the work. And he tough as nails. And he take catches. And he take hits and survive the catch, all right? That's like Mighty Mouse, all right? Mighty Mouse ain't no joke, all right? Don't confuse Mighty Mouse with Tom and Jerry and them folk, all right? That's a different type of rat, all right? Yeah. Shout out to the homie Juice Belly right here. He says, one more goofy move, and I'm to the Bills with Moats. Don't you say JK either, man. No. He's not JK now, all right? He's not just kidding it. No. He's saying drink. He's saying just Kool-Aid with it, man, because he's going to have some red Kool-Aid while he's watching and being part of that blue and red machine, all right? So shout out, man. Now, Flowgrown 420 also says GP is on a going to cook JPJ when we play them this year. We'll see, because my only thing is this, and I even had the same approach when the play happened during training camp. All right. And I know it wasn't the cool approach to have, because you're supposed to just be like, yo, he dunked on him, right? It was a great play. But y'all know how I felt about that training camp catch, the one that went viral. He pushed off of him, bro. It's OPI. He's not on the team no more, so it was OPI, bro. As a defender, I'm like, yo, they're going to call that. They're going to throw that flag. So I'm not tripping on it. JPJ, we not saying that, he's the best quarterback corner in the world, even though to him he says he is, right? And we want that confidence from him. But I don't personally believe that it's just going to be some cook show, bro. I don't think that. JPJ know what he's doing. And on top of that, there are a lot of other factors that come into it, man. And that said, it wasn't even a pass. It was just throw it up the field, one-on-ones. We got TJ Watts, Highsmiths, and Cam Haywards, and all that other stuff, the Harmons of the world. We can make it real interesting out there. That's all I'm saying. We can make it real interesting, make it real juicy, all right? But yeah, don't be tripping on JPJ just yet. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. All right. But shout out, man. Shout out to all of Yins, man, as we over here reacting to this here, George Pickens trade to the Dallas Cowboys. Insane.